Alrighty. Well, hello everybody, and thanks for joining us again for another weekly ConnectSMART webinar. My name is Bill Kilday. I work over on the development team here, and today we're going to be talking about reporting. We're going to be specifically talking about how to manage and deliver reports. So let's get started. So the topics we're going to cover are first how to manage reports, and that's going to be how to download and upload reports to ConnectIO. And then next, we're going to talk about 3 different techniques for delivering reports. So the first one we're going to look at is how to send a report from within the designer programs that are used to create those reports. And then we're going to check out another technique where you can actually log into ConnectIO into the console and download reports from there and generate PDFs from there. And then finally, we're going to look at how to schedule reports to be sent out on a recurring schedule. Just a quick note here, we will not be discussing how to create reports during this webinar. There's some other webinars that are out there and some more that are upcoming that show you more on how to actually generate your own reports. This is just on how to manage them and how to deliver them to your customers or other stakeholders. All right, so let's get into it. So first up are the report designers. So if, in case you're not familiar, just a quick little refresher here, there's 2 designers applications that you can download. The first one is the Snap Designer, and this is a Windows application. Both of these are actually Windows applications. So the Snap Designer is designed for creating simple reports. These end up looking kind of like Word documents. So it's very simplistic. You just drag and drop the fields you want to display onto the template, and they just get generated right on the fly. The other report designer is the Deluxe Designer, and this is more of a complete report designing package. So this has pivot tables and charts and graphs, and you can group things and do paging and all kinds of fun stuff. Right now, the Deluxe one is the only one with the capability to do the scheduled reports, but the Snap Designer, we're working on adding that capability really soon. So if you're looking to do scheduled reports right away, I'd look into looking at the Deluxe Designer and designing your reports around that. But if you do have Snap reports, we'll be adding that support very soon to do the scheduled automated delivery. So first up, when you first log in, or when you first open up one of these applications, you're going to log in with your ConnectIO credentials. So here I have the Deluxe Report Designer already opened up. By default, it saves the last credentials you logged in as, but you can click on this little credentials button right here to see what credentials you're logged in as. So I'm in here under my demo tenant. And this is the exact same dialog you would see when you first open the program if you hadn't logged in at least once. So you just hit connect, and then that'll log you in. All right, so first up, how can we start managing our reports? So within the designers, we can actually look at the list of reports that have been uploaded to ConnectIO, and then we can download those and upload those. So let's go check out how to download reports inside of one of the designers. So if I bring up that Deluxe Designer again, if we look over here, there's a download/open button. Clicking that brings up this download dialog. So this is showing all of the reports that I've uploaded for my particular tenant there to ConnectIO. And so I can select these, I can download each one of these. You can sort by category, you can sort by last modified date. There's a little filter thing here too, so if you have a lot of different categories, you can just pick out the ones you're interested in. When you download these, they're going to get saved to the Save To location up here. And you're usually probably going to want to overwrite the existing one. By default, it's unchecked, but typically, if this report already exists here and this is unchecked, it's going to go and download it and append a little number to the end of the name to make it unique. But if you do the overwrite, it'll just overwrite the existing one. So, and then finally, you can also delete reports from here too. So say you've uploaded a bunch of reports because you're testing out the capabilities and you want to clean it up, you can come here and you can select whichever ones you want to delete and just hit that delete button. All right, so let's open up a report here. So I'm going to download my quick report, and it's going to download it to my local system and then open it up in the designer here. All right, cool. All right. So next, after we've downloaded a report or we've created a new report and made some modifications and made some changes, the next question is how do we get that report and all of its changes back up to ConnectIO? And that's where the uploading dialog comes into play. So just to kind of drive home the point here, make sure that you've saved all your local changes on your local system first before trying to upload it, and it'll actually prompt you for that too. and make sure you upload it, because just saving it locally on your local system is not going to modify what's up on the ConnectIO console. So let's take a quick look at that. So here, let's say I made some modifications here. You can see the little star up there indicates that this is not saved. If I try to go and upload, it's going to prompt me, hey, you've modified your report. Make sure you save it locally before you try to upload it. Otherwise, it's going to upload the non-saved version. So we'll save those changes. And then this is the upload dialog right here. So you can see it's, first off, because we have that overwrite checkbox unchecked, it's going to try to upload it with a unique name, but we can just say, hey, overwrite the one that's already existing there. And then here we can set a category. So this is just a free-form text here, so you can type in whatever category you want, but we'll stick to the one that we have for right now. And then you just hit upload, and it's going to go and send that report up to ConnectIO and store it up there. Alrighty. So next up, let's go check out inside of the ConnectIO console the things that we can do with reports. So we're going to go and look at how we can browse our reports that we've uploaded and generate custom reports from them. We're going to go look at where you would go for scheduling automated reporting tasks, and also where to look at the results of those automated reporting tasks. And we'll get into more of how to actually use all this at the end of the demo here. But for now, let's just go take a look at what those different pieces look like. So here is the ConnectIO console over at io.connectsmart.com. So I've got my login information already filled out here, so I'm just going to log in. And then the first page that we're interested in for reports is under Browse and then Custom Reports. So here we have a little drop down that shows us the list of all the reports that we've uploaded. So there's my quick report that I was modifying. So if you click that, it's going to go and bring up the little report generator UI here, and you can pick whatever parameters you want to do for filtering, and then you just hit submit, and it's going to generate that report for you. The other places that we're interested in over here are the scheduled task page. So typically this is where all of your data import tasks are located, but it's also where your report tasks are located. So if you want to do automated report scheduling, this is where you would come to schedule those tasks. And then finally, there's a generated reports page here under Browse. So when those automated report tasks run, they're going to go and generate reports that are going to get sent out to whatever email you're sending them to. And this is just a list of all those ones that have gone out. So, alrighty, let's go jump back over to the PowerPoint. Okay, so that was a little bit on how to manage reports. Now we're going to talk about how to deliver reports. So first up is method one, delivering it from the report designer itself. So this one's pretty easy. So let's open up that report designer again. So here I have my quick report inside of the Deluxe Report Designer. All I'm going to do is just go to Print Preview and then wait for that to load up. And then I'll pick some filters here, generate the report. So here's my report all nice and generated. And then over here under the export menu, I've got two options here. So I can export and either go to PDF or one of the other file formats, and then which is basically just going to take this report and then save it off into that format and download it to my local system. And then I also have this email as link, which basically does the same thing as the export. You can see you got all the same file formats, except that after it generates the file and downloads it to your local system, it'll pop open whatever mail client you have registered on your Windows system and then automatically attach it to the email. So you can just go right ahead, type in whatever you're going to do for your email, and then send it off immediately. So this is a good technique to use if you're working on a report in the report designer and you want to go send those results out to somebody. So you don't have to go and upload it to ConnectIO and go into the browser or anything. You can literally just come right over to Print Preview, generate that PDF, and then send it over to whoever you want to review it or send it to. So that's technique number one. Next up, we have technique number two. So this is basically the same thing, but within the ConnectIO console. So if we jump back over to our console and go to Custom Reports, and I'm going to go and pick out my quick report again. And we'll do a little filter here. There we go. If you look right here, we have these two save buttons, And we also have a drop-down here for a file format. So using this, you can hit save, and what it's going to do is it's going to generate that PDF for you and let you save it locally onto your local system. And then from there, you can take it and email it or do whatever you want with it. The advantage of doing it from inside this console here is that you don't need to have the report designer application installed on your system to generate these PDFs. So you can be on any machine and just log into the ConnectIO console and then generate those PDFs from the reports. But it still gives you the flexibility of picking out what filters you want to do on the reports. So that's technique number 2. And then technique 3 is for scheduling recurring delivery of reports. So this one's a little more involved, so let's go jump over into the website and we'll walk through it. So for this one, we're going to start over in the scheduled task page. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on this schedule report button. This is going to allow us to create a report task. So we'll give it a name, so I'll say webinar report task and an example. And then the first thing you're going to do is pick which report you actually want to generate for this task. So I'll do my quick report again, and you'll notice you get some parameters here, which are the same parameters for filtering as they were over in the designer and over in the custom reports page. So here I'll go and let's see, we'll pick out another company here. And then if you go over to delivery, you can set up the recipient's name and then do their email address. So I'll send myself this report. And then here, this is the actual email that's going to get sent. So here's the subject of the email and then the contents of the email. And you can see there's some macros here. So it's going to inject the name, which is from the recipient name, into here. And it's going to inject the report URL of the generated report right here. And then over on the scheduling tab, you can pick if you want to just run this once or if you want to go and schedule this up to run on a schedule. So right now we'll just run this once and get that kicked off. So it's going to appear here in the list of tasks. You can see the next run date is right there, so it's going to kick off as soon as it can. While that's getting ready to go, I'll just show off the other parts of that schedule report task dialog. So after you've picked out your report from here, you can also change up the content store that it's pointing to if you're pointing to content stores. So that's an option. Also here, you'll notice this little macros icon next to each one of these fields. So for this report, I just have a static date of January 1st and December 1st on it. But with the macros, what you can do is you can say beginning of this year, or more likely you're going to want to do months, so maybe beginning of this month, and then for the end date, you may want to do today, right? So it'll just be kind of an accruing report for the current month that's going on. Or you could say end of this month, right? So you could just do a monthly report like that. So that's good to know. And then over on the delivery side, all those macros are available as well. So you have your customer name and your tenant name, but you also have all those macros with the dates that we saw before. So you could let people know that, hey, this is a report for the beginning of this month to the end of this month, and you can put those dates into your email. Also, it's good to know, well, so one, we'll just go through the list here. The from here, you can modify this to match your company, so then any replies are going to go back to a support email address over at your company, which is obviously probably a better idea than sending them over to us. And then down here, this is actually a full HTML editor here. So if you click on source, you can actually see all that HTML that's being generated, and you can inject whatever, you can write whatever HTML you want into here. And then it's also got some buttons here for doing things like linking in images, or you can create tables, or you can do all kinds of fun text font formatting on here as well. Also, this little button right here will maximize this editor too. So that's helpful if especially if you're going over to the HTML view and are looking at a lot of complicated HTML. But so you can use this to add in, say, like your signature or something like that to this email. And finally, let's take a look at that scheduling. So we just did a run once, but over on the scheduling side, you can do, you're probably never going to do minutes, or even hours really, but days, you might want to do like do every day. So every one day, you're going to go and send out a report at 4 in the morning. Or you could do every week, send a report out on Sunday at 6 in the morning. Or you could say at the beginning and the end of the week, you're going to send those reports. And if you want to do, say, every other week, so you could be like every 4 weeks, just send it out on Tuesday or something. So it'll be Report Tuesday. So those are all the different scheduling options. So now we can see this report is finished. If this was on a recurring, if we had a schedule for this, the next run would be showing the next date that it was going to run based on the schedule options we had picked. But we just did a run once. So now that that's run, if we go over to generated reports, we can see there's a new entry here for that task. So this is saying that this link, this report link was sent out to this email address at this time. So we can actually click this to see the exact report that got sent out to that particular email. And you can see it loads up, and there's no options to change parameters or anything. Those are already set because we set those when we set up the report task. And that's and this is what your customer is going to see. So that's how you do generated reports. And then just as an example here, this is from my email. So this is the actual email that got sent out. So you can see there's my name that was injected into the email, and then this is what gets added to the email when you do that report URL macro right there. So it gives a little link right here to click, and that brings up the report over in the browser. So kind of important key point to note there is that that email doesn't actually contain a PDF of the report. It just contains a link over to here where the customer or user can then download a PDF of it. The reason we've done that for now, and we may change this in the future, so this may be out of date at some point, but the reason we do that for right now is that there's no email box limitations or anything. If you do a large PDF report, sometimes that can get blocked by filters and things like that. So because this is just a link, that email is going to go through no problem. So, but yeah, so those were the 3 different ways to go and schedule reports. If you have any questions, feel free to email us or contact support, and definitely check out the docs site for more information on how to create reports, and then for any more information you might want to find on doing scheduling or using the ConnectIO console. All right, well, that's it. So thanks everyone for attending, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.